Well, hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am down here cutting on a property here in the northeast part of Kentucky this week, and just wrapped up this job. We're developing a 100-acre farm down here for a client, and so I've done a lot of different cutting throughout here on a lot of different terrain features, and we've done a lot of cool different habitat stuff on this property. Some that we're in the process of, and some that we've already implemented here. So this is a brand new kind of a raw property that we're coming through here, and really starting to develop it, and hopefully the client can really start seeing some good success. So I'm going to walk through some of these different areas that I've cut. We've got some great material here to work with. As you can see behind me, we got some shagbark hickory. So a lot of this stuff hinges really well. And predominantly in here we've got, a lot of low-grade timber. We're taking out a lot of the junk timber, open up around a lot of white oaks. Wildlife and whitetails is this client's main goal. So in this property had already been select cut several years ago, and so we're trying to manage this mainly for wildlife. We've got a couple areas that the client's going to run some prescribed fire through. That we've left kind of uncut, and we're going to do some light TSI. And then we've got a lot of these north and south facing slopes that we've cut really hard to get a lot of sunlight in here, and then get a lot of organized cover in here where we can hopefully fit a lot more mature bucks and a lot more deer in here. So I'm going to take you guys through. I'll walk you around, show you kind of how I've laid these out with the material that I've got, and then take you to a couple sections on the farm, and then I'll kind of overlay everything over top with an aerial map, so you guys can kind of get a good visual idea of where I'm at and what I'm talking about. So hopefully this gives you guys a good idea, some things you can be thinking about and doing on your farm or your property to better increase your holding capacity of deer and create that more predictable deer movement. So now I'm actually standing up on a couple of these trees, and I'm going to just give you kind of a visual of this area. So you can see there's a big bottom down through there, and then that transitions over into an ag field, and then we've edge feathered all the way down that ag field, and I'll show you another video of that. And then we've got this whole ridge top. We've got a wall here, a wall of cover that leads up to this top here, and we've left a lot of these military crests right as the crest of that ridge drops off. We've left a lot of these areas open. So we've got a lot of natural bedding in here. And as you can see, we're up on these cuts. We got lots of open areas in here. There's lots of beds all up in here. So we've left some of these areas open, and we've got plenty of escape routes heading back up to, there's a micro staging plot, food plot up there before they head out into they're gonna be their destination food plots. And then we've got multiple different walls that all run basically parallel with this ridge top down here. So we're basically moving these deer out from the points of these ridges out here all the way down the edges of these walls, and then they actually all interconnect back up by the client's got a box plant up there at that staging plot. So that's the goal, is to really get a lot of this movement moving down these ridge tops, paralleling them. And then we can fit a lot of deer in between all these sections of walls down through here. So now I'm down on the ground. I'll give you a little tour down here. So you can see we got lots of sunlight in here. Lots of areas for these deer to bed. We've got a trail that leads down here. So this actually leads down here and then leads back up the next ridge. We've got a really nice stand that's all marked out that the client's going to put in, and it's going to be a really nice north wind stand. The client can actually access real down low, down through this creek bottom, and wrap all the way around the ridge, and come right in here on the north wind, sneak up in that stand. And we've got a hub built up there where basically our buck sneak trail runs down through here, and then it basically all dead ends where a lot of those deer can come out into that field. So there's that staging plot we just came out of, and this transitions into what used to be the ag field. And most of this ag field is going to be converted back into old field, early successional habitat. And you can see there's lots of structure out here. We dragged some treetops out here, and then this is actually going to be put into a high diversity forbs pollinator blend. And so we're going to get a lot of cover up through here. And then we've also got a feathered edge that comes all the way around the whole field. So we've gone through, hinge cut some smaller trees, conventionally fallen, some other trees. And so now we've got screening and we've got structure all the way around this whole field. As you can see over here, we've got lots of treetops laying out here. And then we're gonna run a clover chicory trail, and we're just gonna run it around all these different treetops. And then we're gonna have a layer of switchgrass screening on the back side of that. So we're gonna have, you know, in theory, we're gonna have 2 different layers of screening here. We're gonna have lots of food. Hopefully we'll get some does bedded up close to the field here, where we've got 2 layers of screening. And then the goal is for these deer to transition down this bottom, and there's gonna be a food plot that runs in that lower section, and it's gonna run all the way over to there, and it's gonna transition to the next section of the farm, which I'll show you next. So now I'm actually standing up here on top of the four-wheeler just to give you guys kind of a view of this field. So I'm actually standing up on that big knoll. I was actually across over here, and I was looking over to this point over here. This is one of the higher points in the ag field. And so we're gonna have a winding food plot. It's gonna transition from that swale right there, from all that section of woods, and it's gonna transition all the way down this edge. And again, we got a feathered edge that comes all the way down through here. And then transitions, we got a nice little pinch point here with this pond. So they're gonna have a nice little staging plot that's kind of all down through this bottom here. They'll have a nice 30-yard bow shot right to the edge of that pond. They can have a couple of scrapes there, and we've got a couple of trails that come right out of the edge feathering right there, and we've got another one I think it's right down through there. So this should be an awesome spot. You can kind of hunt this on a couple different winds. And then they're also going to have a box blind over on this point over here, because that's a big transition point between that section of woods right there and then this big section. And then there's 2 other fingers of this ag field that come out. And this one's going to be broke up staging plots with some switchgrass screening, and then a transition plot that goes across. And then this one's going to be more of a destination plot. All right, so I was standing back over on that point over there. We've got the pond that's right here, and then we've kind of got this finger here of this ag field. This is right around 3 acres, and we're gonna have the client's gonna have another box blind up on this point right here. And so there's a big kind of a peninsula of hardwoods that comes out right here, and a lot of these deer cross from right here. You can see this trail right here, heading back into the bedding up on those ridges, you know, that connect into the rest of the property. So this is basically just a big funnel here, and we're going to add in a bunch more screening. We're going to add in a staging, kind of a winding staging food plot that comes up in here, and then there's a micro plot that I'll show you that's on the back side, kind of in that little, there's a bowl over there. So again, we've gone through and we've edge feathered all the way down these field edges to give a lot of screening in here, so we can hopefully fit a lot of does all the way around this food source. And then I'll take you back on the back side of the edge feathering, kind of transition through here. Again, we're on the back side of all this edge feathering. Got a nice bed right there already. It's being used quite a bit. You can see the amount of hair that's in here. There's another bed right there. We can see how much screening we've got in here, in behind this, and then we've got a lot of other bedding that's back behind. We've got walls and walls of cover that run all along this ridge top here. And again, we've opened up a lot of white oaks in here. We've done basically a crop tree release, so hopefully a lot of these white oaks will really take off. And the main goal is acorn production. You can see this white oak right here. It's got a really nice crown on it. We open up a lot of those. And again, I've got several trails in here, you know, that I leave in between these walls. I like to run these walls right around that 30 to 50 yards long, and I'll leave plenty of escape routes, you know, kind of going through here where these deer can, you know, move forward, back, you know, left to right if possible. So now we lead right down into a brand new staging plot client put in, and this is was just planted in clover. You can see it's just starting to pop up. It's looking pretty good. So we've got a wall built on this property line right here, and then we've got a couple of openings here in this wall where these deer can come up from the bottom. The client did kill a real nice deer just down a little bit lower on the past year. So this is a great spot. It's a hub here. We got a lot of deer coming up this edge. You got a lot of big ag over here. Client can sneak right in around from this backside, especially now that we've got so much screening in here with our edge feathering. And we've got this buck sneak trail that runs all the way around this big ag point. So again, we've got feathered edge. The client's actually gonna move that redneck blind, and that's gonna go up here on this point. So we've got this big feathered edge through here, and we just walked down through that feathered edge on the backside of that edge feathering where that buck sneak trail is. You got the same situation over here, and we've got a staging food plot that's just on the back side of this that I'll show you. So now we're leading down to this little staging plot down through here, and then again we've got this feathered edge that comes all the way around here. Then we've got another feathered edge comes all the way around this point. Client's gonna have a stand back in that big red oak right there, and then we've got a logging road that heads around over here and then heads all the way around back into a bunch of other ridges back down in that bottom that we've cut a bunch. So this is gonna be a really good pinch point right here where a lot of these deer are heading around this corner here, this inside corner. They're gonna be staging kind of before they head back out up into these bigger destination food plots. So